Hello and welcome to Low Budget Gaming and welcome to another first Descendant video. So today I wanted to go through the various stages of building a Descendant. This is aimed for the newer player because I'm seeing a lot of new players and they get confused with all the various systems in the game. Now people like us who have been playing from day one, we did not have all these systems. They were gradually added to the game during the various seasons. So what I wanted to go over here is starting from the beginning, what are the things you need to prioritize, and then once you start unlocking different mission types and reaching higher mastery ranks, you can further fine tune and improve your builds. So the basic thing, first thing that you do with any Descendant, I'm going to use Ultimate Freyna here as an example. The first thing is the build page, the mod page. So over here, you can see I have a fully built mod page. To build this out, you need obviously the modules. You need to enhance the modules. Again, don't worry about fully enhancing the modules early on. You level them up based on how much Kuiper and board you have. And then what you need are crystallization catalysts. So what crystallization catalysts do is, let's say I have this one here, tech amplification, and I want to put something else. Let's say, just take a random example, overwhelming HP. So this one is with the C symbol, which is called cerulean, but we have this one here, the almondine socket here. When you first get a Descendant, you have got 3 or 4 of these have these symbols. The rest of them are blank. So you have to manually put in the type you want. So what you do is you go to the module socket type, assign module socket type, and then you select the slot that you want, and then you pick which you want. In order to do this, you need crystallization catalysts. Okay, so when you select one, and if you do this, your level will drop back down to 1. Okay, I'm not going to do that because this is fully built. And then you have to go and level up again. So first thing, you get the Descendant, you take them up to 40, then you put the socket type you want, put the module, then go run missions, get up to 40 again, then you repeat until you have fully enhanced all of them. So let me get the tech amplification back. See, this is 16. When you put it in the matching socket type, it reduces the cost by half. So that is what we are trying to do in order to accommodate all the different modules. Okay, so that is the basic thing. The very first thing you have to do, you need crystallization catalyst, you need the modules and the golden Kuiper to enhance the modules, and then you build the module page. So that is the first thing. Second thing you need is the matching reactor. Now, couple of things, you have to put the right reactor for your Descendants. So for Freyna, we need a reactor with toxic and tech. These are called the toxic mechanics reactor. If you see under the skill power boost ratio, we are getting boost to toxic power and tech power. So this is the reactor for Freyna. Now another thing to keep in mind, which in terms of power, is the optimization condition. If you see under this, there is a tick in the middle one for the tactical rifle. So the gun you are holding is called the mounted gun. So I'm currently holding the Secret Garden, which is a tactical rifle. So I have a tactical rifle mounting. Having the matching gun on the reactor and in your hand gives you more power. So you get 160% power. If you don't have the right gun, you only get 100%. Where it says missed skill power 100%, that is what you can get. Now early on, you only have one gun listed on the reactor. Later systems added the option to add 2 more guns, implant 2 more guns. We'll talk about that later. First, you need to focus on getting the reactor for your gun. The Secret Garden is a good gun for Freyna because it gives extra power. You don't have to worry about that early on. You can put any gun as long as it is on the reactor. You can put the tactical rifle later. Okay, so that is like a later thing. Next would be the external components. Now, early on in the game, the best set is the Slayer set, which you get by defeating the Pyromaniac boss, the hard difficulty Pyromaniac. And you have to look and find the right stats on the external components. So let me see if I have any blank ones here. So for example, this one here, normally when you get the component, it'll look like this. So it will have 2 stats and 2 empty cores. Okay. Now max HP and MP recovery is this thing you want, but you may get it in a blue and a purple, or 2 blues, 2 purples, whatever, as long as it's the correct ones. Okay, so most skill-based Descendants need MP recovery and max HP. I have a separate video on the external components. You can look into that. I'll not go over this in this video. So you'll have the two blank spots above. That is a later system that has been added into the game. So we'll talk about that later in the video. So you put the matching external component, and what this does is it gives you extra power. So when you have two pieces, you get certain benefits. When you have all four pieces from the same set, you get even more benefits. So for example, with this one, you get 9% more ammo, you get 26.1% more skill power. Those are the things we want. Okay, so this will be the first three things you'll do. You build the mod page, you get the right reactor, you get the right external components. Again, they may not be fully maxed out in gold, blue, purple, whatever. As long as they are right, this should be good enough to get you started. Now, after that, we got things like the inversion reinforcement. This is, again, things that give you extra perks. So when you defeat an enemy, your max MP increases. MP is used to cast the skill, so this will be handy. You can also use something like this. When you defeat an enemy, you get a max HP increase, and every 45 seconds you get more MP, things like that. So all of these will help you a little bit. After that, we got the ability to enhance reactors. So if you see here, you have 5 sort of diamonds here. These are the enhancement levels. Maximum you can go is 5 levels. Initially, you start with 2 levels. You can do that comfortably. Once you have more resources and you reach higher levels, you can. I don't think you need to be a certain level to use this, but yeah, you'll need a lot of resources. Once you have that, you can fully max this out, assuming you have the right stats and the right options. You fully enhance that, and then you can also, where you see the two options, tech, skill, power, boost ratio, skill, cooldown, you can enhance those as well once you have the right resources. Okay, after that, you go into Arche tuning. So once you reach, I think mastery 16 or 18, I can't remember, for the Sigma sector, this one here, once you can get here, you start getting Arche XP. So you get up to 40 points, let's say, and then you can use those 40 to fill out this board here. This is sort of like the Paragon board in Diablo, for example. And then here for Freyna, I'm just focusing on the skills, on the MP, some range, cooldown. You can go all the way up to here. In the corners, you have things called mutant cells. Mutant cells also drop from Sigma sector. So while you're running the missions, you'll get a box called the spoils box, this one here. And inside this box, you'll have a bunch of different mutant cells. And there are different ones for different descendants. For Freyna, over here in the top corner, this has the Xanatic symbol, the X sort of symbol. And so you can only put the Xanatic types. So I've put here Toxin Cohesion. So when you kill enemies, like 3 enemies or something, you can get extra toxic skill power up to 19.2%. So you have a 50% trigger rate. So let's say you kill 2 enemies, you'll get 1 stack of Toxin Cohesion. You kill 6 or 7 enemies, you'll have the 3 stacks, which will result in more skill power. So all of these things add more skill power, more defense, and things like that. The latest addition to this has been the ability to add cores. So again, the top 2 under defense, the one with the orange and blue, you can add more HP and more defense to your Descendant. Okay, and also while we got Sigma sector, we got another external component set specially made for toxic descendants of Freyna and Keelan. So those are the 2 toxic descendants. So this is called the Plague set. It gives you more toxic power. And if you see here, we have 23,000 defense, 18,948 HP. This is quite a lot. Most of the time we have been running with around 8 to 9,000 HP, and we have been doing just fine. So what this means is now you can actually drop the increase HP mod and add something else here to give you more power. So over here, if you see, we are still at 10,000 HP, which is more than enough for most of the content right now. And so you can actually add more HP, or if you want, you can just make your Descendant extra tanky by keeping the HP. Okay, so those are the stages. The build page, matching reactor, correct external component, having the gun mounted, which gives you more power. You need to have the gun mounted no matter what, but having the correct one, some guns give power to Descendants, so Secret Garden is one of those. We also have things like cores, which give more power to the gun and also helps out the Descendant. For example, I have sprint cores, which give you more speed when you are running. So that is also handy, not directly in terms of power, but it's still useful. Then we have inversion reinforcement to give you extra perks, Arche tuning to give you more power, more cooldown, and mutant cell to give you even more when you do something like defeating an enemy and things like that. And then you have the cores on the external components to give you even more defense and HP and things like toxin resistance in some cases. So this is how you fully flesh out the build. But early on, build page, reactor, components. Focus on that. And then as you get more resources, more gold, more systems unlocked, you can slowly build out everything. So hopefully that made sense because there are quite a lot of things. I'll probably make a separate build guide for Freyna and some of the other people for season 3. I have made several, but they keep adding new systems, so I have to keep updating that. But these are the stages of building a Descendant. Hopefully this was useful and not too confusing if you're new to the game. Like I said, the day one players and people who have been playing, they already know this, and we got these systems one by one, so it wasn't as confusing as it would be for someone joining now. So yeah, hopefully this made some sense. And if you have any questions, as always, feel free to ask below. I'll be happy to help.